Dr. Emily Harper was a trusted dentist in her small town, but one morning she vanished without a trace. Days later, she was spotted walking with a mysterious man, and suddenly, no one knew if she was safe or in grave danger. Dr. Emily Harper had always been known for her meticulous nature. She ran a small dental clinic in the heart of a quiet town, where everyone knew her name and trusted her with their smiles. Her days were usually filled with the gentle hum of drills, polite conversation, and the occasional worried patient seeking reassurance. But on that particular Monday morning, something felt off. Emily didn't arrive at her clinic when she was supposed to, and her receptionist found the waiting room empty of appointments that should have already been underway. At first, the staff assumed she had been caught in traffic or was running late, but hours passed without a single call from her. Concern quickly turned to alarm. Friends and colleagues tried reaching her, but her phone went straight to voicemail, an unusual occurrence for someone as dependable as Emily. Even her patients began to worry, sending texts and leaving messages that remained unanswered. When a neighbor went to check on her, they found the house completely intact, with lights on and belongings untouched. Emily's car was still parked outside, and there were no signs of struggle, no forced entry, no letters, no clues whatsoever. It was as if she had simply vanished into thin air. Authorities were called, and a missing person case was officially opened. The detectives who arrived noted the eeriness of the situation. Everything in Emily's life suggested she was organized and cautious. A sudden disappearance was unlike her in every way. The team interviewed neighbors, friends, and colleagues, but no one had seen anything unusual in the days leading up to her disappearance. Some remembered that Emily had seemed a little tense in recent weeks. She had canceled plans at the last minute, avoided certain streets, and appeared distracted when she left her home. While these could have been signs of normal stress, the timing now seemed ominous in retrospect. Despite a thorough search of her home, workplace, and surrounding areas, no trace of Emily was found. Social media posts by friends and local news coverage urged anyone with information to come forward, but tips were scarce and often contradictory. The community, once peaceful and trusting, now felt a creeping sense of unease. Everyone wondered if she had simply walked away or if something far more sinister had occurred. The town had lost its sense of safety, and the mystery surrounding Dr. Emily Harper's disappearance was only just beginning to grip the public imagination. Her case, seemingly simple at first glance, was already spiraling into something much darker, leaving investigators and townspeople alike questioning whether the quiet life they knew had been hiding secrets all along. Days after Dr. Emily Harper vanished, a shocking clue emerged that sent waves of fear through the town. Surveillance footage from a small gas station just a few miles from her clinic captured a brief, mysterious encounter. In the video, Emily appeared alongside a man whose features were partially hidden beneath a dark hood. She walked close to him, sometimes hesitating, sometimes seeming to follow his lead. The man carried a briefcase, the contents of which remained unknown, and their movements were calm but deliberate. The footage lasted only a few seconds, yet it was enough to ignite endless speculation. People debated whether Emily had been coerced or if she had left voluntarily. Authorities analyzed the footage repeatedly, zooming in on the man's face and attire, hoping to uncover a recognizable feature, but the camera's angle and shadows made identification nearly impossible. Detectives noted subtle details. Emily's body language seemed tense, as if she were uncertain, yet she didn't resist or attempt to escape. That ambiguity made the situation all the more disturbing. Social media amplified the mystery, and local news outlets shared the footage widely, calling on anyone who recognized the man to come forward. The town was gripped with unease. Whispers spread that Emily might have been involved in something secret, something dangerous, but no one knew what. Investigators retraced Emily's steps in the days before the footage was recorded. They discovered she had visited places she rarely went: small shops on the outskirts of town, a local park at odd hours, and a few quiet cafes. These seemingly ordinary locations now took on a sinister tone. Every detail of her recent routine was scrutinized, from the receipts she left behind to the brief messages she had sent to colleagues. Each clue seemed to raise more questions than answers, creating a tangled web of possibilities. Meanwhile, residents reported sightings that may or may not have been Emily. A jogger claimed to see a woman resembling her on a deserted trail, walking with a man who matched the gas station footage description. Another neighbor swore she saw Emily's car parked outside a remote storage unit late at night. Every tip led to dead ends, but the sightings contributed to growing paranoia. People started locking doors more carefully, checking behind them while walking at night, and whispering about the dangers lurking in what had once been a familiar, safe town. With each passing day, the mystery deepened. Emily Harper, once the trusted and reliable dentist everyone knew, had become a symbol of fear and uncertainty. The man in the hood remained unidentified, and no one knew whether he was helping her, threatening her, or something far worse. The footage left a haunting question. Who had she been with? And where were they going? The sense of suspense was suffocating, leaving both investigators and the community desperate for answers that seemed increasingly elusive. Investigators began piecing together Dr. Emily Harper's life in the weeks before her disappearance, hoping to find a lead that would explain the chilling gas station footage. At first glance, her life seemed ordinary: a respected dentist, a close circle of friends, and a tidy, well-kept home. But as detectives dug deeper, small details began to paint a different picture. Emily had recently canceled multiple appointments without explanation, something highly unusual for someone so organized. She had also withdrawn large sums of money from her accounts in a short period, though there was no record of her spending it in the usual ways. The pattern suggested that she might have been preparing for something, or perhaps someone had forced her to. Phone records became a critical piece of the puzzle. Emily had been in frequent contact with a number unknown to her friends and family. The calls stopped abruptly the day she disappeared. Investigators tried tracing the number, but it appeared to be disposable, leaving only faint traces that led to dead ends. Meanwhile, neighbors recalled strange occurrences: a late-night visit from a man she didn't know, a small suitcase that appeared in her car one evening, and moments when Emily seemed unusually tense, glancing around as if she were being watched. The combination of financial irregularities, secretive phone calls, and mysterious sightings suggested she had stumbled into a situation far more complicated than anyone realized. Detectives also examined her clinic for potential clues. Files were meticulously organized, but some patient records had been removed, leaving gaps that raised suspicion. It became clear that Emily may have uncovered something she wasn't meant to see, something potentially dangerous. Theories ranged from accidental involvement in illegal medical practices to witnessing criminal activity outside her clinic. Yet, without solid evidence, all ideas remained speculative. The community felt the tension rising as each new detail emerged. Friends described Emily's normally calm demeanor turning nervous, her casual walks becoming brisk and hurried. Social media was flooded with tips and theories, some credible, some wild, but none offered answers. Every lead seemed to contradict another, creating a maze of uncertainty for investigators. As the search continued, one fact became undeniable: Emily Harper's disappearance was no ordinary case. The combination of secrecy, financial anomalies, and unexplained sightings suggested that someone or something had intentionally pulled her into a dangerous situation. Each revelation only deepened the mystery, leaving both law enforcement and the community on edge, desperate to uncover the truth. What had begun as a simple missing person case was now evolving into a chilling story of hidden threats, unseen dangers, and a life caught in a web of secrets that refused to untangle. Weeks into the investigation, a breakthrough finally emerged that would shock both authorities and the community. A tip from a vigilant local led detectives to a man who bore a striking resemblance to the figure captured in the gas station footage. This discovery prompted a deeper look into his background, revealing a connection to a network of individuals involved in fraudulent medical schemes. The more investigators uncovered, the clearer it became that Emily Harper had inadvertently stumbled into a dangerous world. She hadn't simply disappeared. She had become entangled in something far more sinister than anyone had imagined. Further evidence suggested that Emily had discovered irregularities in patient records and billing practices, irregularities that, if exposed, could have implicated powerful people. The briefcase seen in the gas station footage suddenly took on a menacing significance. It was no longer just a vague detail but a possible tool used to coerce or control her movements. Investigators pieced together that she might have been forced to leave town under duress, her disappearance, a carefully orchestrated move to protect her or keep her silent. The sense of urgency surrounding her case intensified, as detectives realized the people involved were willing to manipulate and threaten without hesitation. Searches of storage units connected to Emily revealed more disturbing hints. Items from her clinic were packed into boxes and scattered across multiple locations, as if someone wanted to erase traces of her presence while maintaining her life on hold. Financial records showed large, unexplained transfers that hinted she may have been trying to secure her escape. It became clear that Emily had not vanished on a whim. She had been navigating a complex and dangerous situation, moving cautiously to stay ahead of those who posed a threat. The town, once quiet and untroubled, now felt the weight of fear. Neighbors whispered about the dangers that could exist behind closed doors. Friends of Emily were left unsettled, realizing how little they truly knew about the quiet dentist they trusted. Each new revelation made the case more convoluted, and with the identity of the mysterious man still partly shrouded in secrecy, investigators were left balancing between hope that Emily might still be safe and fear that time was running out. Every clue, every hidden connection, deepened the suspense. Emily Harper had become more than a missing person. She had become a symbol of the peril that can lurk beneath the surface of ordinary lives. The question remained, how much did she know? And how far were those who wanted her silenced willing to go? With each revelation, it became painfully clear that the truth was more dangerous and more elusive than anyone had anticipated, leaving the town and investigators on edge, waiting for answers that might never fully come. Months passed, and Dr. Emily Harper's trail seemed to vanish as completely as she had. Despite extensive searches, interviews, and tips from concerned citizens, no definitive evidence of her whereabouts emerged. Some investigators speculated that she had managed to leave the country, taking extreme precautions to avoid detection. Others feared a darker outcome, believing that the mysterious man from the gas station and the network he represented had finally caught up with her. The uncertainty only fueled the tension in the town, leaving residents to wonder if the quiet streets they once trusted had been hiding dangerous secrets all along. Rumors swirled through social media and local conversations. Some claimed to have spotted a woman resembling Emily in distant cities, always cautious, always fleeting. Others insisted that her disappearance had been planned by those seeking to control or silence her after she uncovered sensitive information. The lack of concrete answers allowed fear to grow, and every shadow, every unknown passerby, became a source of speculation. Families locked doors more securely, neighbors watched each other closely, and the once friendly community was now steeped in unease. For law enforcement, Emily's case became a frustrating maze. Every lead seemed promising at first, only to dissolve into ambiguity. Surveillance footage, phone records, and financial documents suggested she had been actively trying to protect herself, possibly anticipating danger from people she had unknowingly confronted. Yet nothing confirmed her ultimate fate. Investigators were left balancing hope with dread, holding on to the possibility that Emily was still alive while preparing for the worst. The chilling reality was that Emily Harper's life had intersected with forces far beyond her ordinary existence. A quiet dentist, once admired for her skill and dedication, had unknowingly uncovered something that made her a target. Each new revelation reinforced the danger she faced and the precision with which those who pursued her operated. The story of her disappearance was no longer just about a missing person. It had become a tense narrative of survival, secrecy, and the terrifying consequences of uncovering truths that some wished to keep hidden. As the months turned into a year, the case remained unresolved, leaving a lasting impact on everyone connected to Emily. Her absence was felt in her empty clinic, in conversations that trailed off when her name came up, and in the lingering questions that refused to be answered. Whether Emily Harper had escaped, been silenced, or continued to navigate the shadows unseen, her story remained a haunting mystery. The town would never forget the dentist who vanished, and the chilling possibility that danger could be closer than anyone realized lingered long after she disappeared, leaving a story that would continue to captivate, frighten, and mystify all who followed it.